Welcome to the presentation on value at risk models. This is part of the FRM Part 1 Valuation and Risk Models. So in this particular presentation, we'll be seeing what is the value at risk and some of the more popular value at risk models, which is historical simulation value at risk, parametric value at risk, and Monte Carlo simulation value at risk, using some examples. So when we talk about value at risk, so what does value at risk mean? So value at risk, or VAR, is a risk measure which specifies the maximum amount of loss of an asset at a given confidence interval and for a specific horizon under normal market conditions. So let's take an example. So for example, if we say that the VAR of a portfolio of USD 100 million at 99% confidence interval on an overnight basis is 5% or USD 5 million. So it means that the next day the value of the asset is not expected to go down below USD 95 million. Of course, in 99 out of 100 business days, because we are using a 99% confidence interval. That means we are confident 99 days out of 100 days, but we are not confident one day out of that 100 days. So of course, under normal market conditions. An N-day VAR is simply the overnight VAR multiplied by square root of N. This is given by the risk matrix because value at risk was first introduced by the market by risk matrix, which is a JP Morgan company in 1992 and is now part of MSCI BARA. But the drawback of the value at risk is that if the loss exceeds the VAR number, which in this case is example is 5 million USD, so one cannot quantify the loss amount. So how much will be the loss? Nobody knows. So expected shortfall measure is an improvement over value at risk, which is the average loss of an asset in those days when the loss amount breaches the value at risk level. So each of the days where there's a breach, that means the loss is beyond the VAR numbers. So average of that losses are what is considered as the expected shortfall. Next, we come to a very important and easy to understand VAR model, which is historical simulation. So historical simulation VAR is the simplest and the most popular VAR model, which is used globally. And it is computed using just the historical asset returns. So risk managers prefer logarithmic returns since they are time additive. They're simple returns and they're logarithmic returns. Logarithmic returns are typically used by risk managers because they're time additive. However, it is not portfolio additive. We'll have a separate discussion on logarithmic returns as well as simple returns later. So daily price returns are computed in case of daily VAR and arranged in ascending order. And based on the confidence interval, of course, the significance level is one less confidence interval. So if you say that confidence interval is 99%, so significance level is 1%. So the appropriate return is a value at risk number. So for example, for 99% confidence interval, the 1% worst return is a VAR number. So if we arrange the returns in ascending order, the lowest return will be on the top. And you take the 1% of the lowest return, and that will be a VAR number. And multiple period, which is the N-day VAR, is computed by simply the overnight one-day VAR multiplied by the root N. And most risk managers prefer the historical simulation VAR since it is easy to understand, compute, and usually the most conservative, as the VAR values are usually the highest in terms of absolute value. So they are typically, as far as a absolute number is concerned, it is the highest as compared to parametric as well as Monte Carlo VAR. And let's see this VAR model with an example. So we have taken the Apple share price in NASDAQ in USD in the year 2020, from 2nd January 2020 to 31st December 2020. Now, so these are the values. So it started around $75. It dipped to a value of say 56.09. This seems to be the lowest as on 23rd March. And thereafter have risen considerably till the end of this last year, which is around 132.69. So substantial increase, as you can see in the share price of Apple. Of course, there's a lot of volatility. Yeah, there's a lot of fluctuation. As you can see, it has dipped and then it has increased and so on and so forth. So the risk measures would capture all this volatility. So we take the Apple share values and then we compute the daily price returns. So we compute the daily price return as a logarithmic return. So as you can see, ln, which is a logarithmic return, natural logarithm of the today's price by yesterday's price. So in this case, B3 by B2 and so on and so forth. So this is what is the logarithmic returns, daily price returns. So all the business days, the share prices are considered and the daily price returns are computed. And on the right hand side here, as you can see, some input parameters are mentioned. Significance level you've taken as 1%. That means confidence level is 99%. As I mentioned, that significance level is 1 less confidence level. So 1 minus 99% is 1%, which is a significance level. This horizon, that is the number of days. In this case, 1 day. You can change that. So and accordingly, the VAR numbers will change. As you can see, you expected that more number of days. So as you can see, the VAR number is expected to be higher. So as you can see, historical mention 8.29%. If the is 10 days, it is VAR numbers are expected to be 26.23%. It's not a direct multiplication of the number, but multiplication of root n, which is given by the risk matrix function. Now, over the horizon, we calculate the standard deviation. So this is a standard deviation of daily return, which is 2.94%. In Macro Excel, we can use a standard deviation of all these daily price returns and multiplied by the square root of this horizon. So over a 1 day horizon, the standard deviation is given in this particular function as 2.94%. So if suppose we take number of days in a year, it is say 250 business days. So as you can see, if you say 250, the standard deviation rises to 46.55%, which is considerably high volatility. So annual volatility is approximately around 46.55 or nearly 50%. Now, so in this case, VAR as percentage-wise, historical simulation is nothing but the percentile of these daily price returns with this significance level multiplied by the square root of this horizon. So if it's 1 day, it's square root of 1. So as you can see here, so it is, as you can see, a minus percentile, because if we typically express VAR as a positive number, though it's a loss. So in order to express this as a positive number, we are using a negative sign here. So minus percentile of this daily returns. What is the significance? 1%. So 1% was return multiplied by the square root of number of days, which is a historical VAR, which is 8.29%. So as you can see, we'll see later the calculations of parametric as well as Monte Carlo. But overall, you see the VAR numbers for historical are by far the most maximum, which is very conservative. So that's the reason the risk managers prefer a historical VAR, which is not only simple to understand, but also conservative. Now, so historical simulation VAR is computed using just the historical asset returns. So risk managers prefer logarithmic returns. So daily price returns are computed in case of daily VAR and arranged in ascending order. So based on the confidence interval of significance level is 1 minus confidence interval. So we have seen that in the spreadsheet. So most risk managers prefer historical simulation VAR since it is easy to understand, compute, and usually the most conservative, as the VAR values are usually the highest in terms of absolute value. Next we come to parametric VAR. The parametric VAR comes from the various basic parameters of risk matrix. So which is essentially means that it's very popular and intuitively easy to understand VAR model, as VAR is computed as a product of number of standard deviation and standard deviation. So it's just the product of two numbers. One is the standard deviation, one is the number of standard deviation. The standard deviation we already seen, that's typically the volatility of the price return. Essentially how much fluctuating the price returns are, how much volatile the price returns are. Moreover, it is number of standard deviation. So number of standard deviation depends upon the confidence interval. So higher the confidence interval, higher is the number of standard deviation. So in other words, the higher the confidence interval, the larger part of the graph from the measure of central tendency, for example, the median, under the log normal distribution is considered, and hence larger is the VAR number. So more the confidence interval, more part of the area under the curve we are considering. So if we're taking 99% confidence interval, that means we are taking 99% of the area of the curve, and we are talking about the log normal distribution curve we are taking. So that has got a number of standard deviation. So how do we compute the number of standard deviation? So the number of standard deviation essentially is computed using in various ways. It is used. So in parametric function, we are using this function called norms inverse the confidence interval. So norms inverse confidence interval gives you the number of standard deviation. So in this case, if we take, say, norms inverse 99%, it typically is 2.33. So that's the number of standard deviation. More the confidence interval, more is the number of standard deviation. If we take 95%, it's typically about 1.64. So less is a standard deviation. So less part of the area under the curve you're considering. So now you are taking 95% of the area under the curve. If we take 99% confidence interval, we are taking 99% of the area under the curve. So more will be the VAR numbers, because more is the number of standard deviation. So the area of the curve is under the curve is more if we take more number of confidence interval. So like in historical simulation VAR, the daily price returns are computed, and then the standard deviation of the daily price returns is computed. So this standard deviation is multiplied by the number of standard deviation depending upon the confidence interval to get the VAR number. Typically one-tail distribution is preferred. So the one-tail distribution, 99% of the confidence interval is number of standard deviations 2.33. And sorry, 99% of the confidence interval, the number of standard deviations 2.33. 95% of the confidence interval, the number of standard deviations 1.64, and so on and so forth. So multiple period or n-day VAR is computed as simply overnight VAR multiplied by square root of n. So we saw the parametric VAR in this case is the number of standard deviation given in this particular expression, norms inverse 1 minus g1 multiplied by g4, which is my standard deviation. So standard deviation into number of standard deviation. So which in this case is coming as 6.85, which is typically lower than the historical simulation VAR. Next we come to the third popular model, which is the Monte Carlo simulation VAR. So Monte Carlo simulation VAR is quite similar to the historical simulation VAR. But unlike historical simulation VAR, in Monte Carlo simulation VAR, its simulated values of price returns are computed. In historical simulation, actual historical price returns are computed, but in Monte Carlo simulation, the price returns are simulated. So using some simulation engines. So simulated value should ideally be minimum for 1 million simulations in order to minimize error terms. And they need to be snapped at a particular time, since simulated values keep on changing as many times the simulations are done. The more number of times the simulations done, the numbers will be different, the simulation values will be different. So various systems can be used to generate the simulated values for returns. So similar to historical simulation VAR model measures, the worst possible VAR returns based on the confidence interval is considered as the Monte Carlo simulation VAR value. So we take the percentile return of the simulated returns and then compute the VAR numbers. So sometimes significance level instead of confidence interval is taken into consideration, for which adequate adjustments needs to be carried out. And VAR is usually mentioned as a positive value, like in historical simulation VAR and parametric VAR, even though it's maximum possible loss at a given confidence interval and for a particular horizon. Even though it's a VAR number, that is a loss number, it should be negative, but we express it as a positive number. So let's see that particular example. So we suppose do a simulated return of this Apple share price daily returns, and we typically snap it. So this is a snapped value of a simulated return. So there are various ways in order to calculate the simulated return. One way to do in the Microsoft Excel is to use a random function. So in this case, a random number is generated from 0 to 1, and that is being superimposed under the log normal distribution. That's the reason we take the norms inverse function. So you have the norms inverse function of the random variable multiplied by, in this case, the standard deviation. So which is linked to the standard deviation, so that there is some method to the madness. which is linked to some particular level, which is a standard deviation, and then random number is just generated, and then logarithmic distribution is superimposed on the random numbers. Here we have used 5,000 simulations in order to just make it easier, but in real life situations, ideally it is expected that you have a million simulations in order to minimize the error term. So after these simulations are being done, so these are snapped at a particular time. So here we have snapped it at a particular time. And after this simulated returns is snapped, we use this particular function, in this case, to compute the Monte Carlo var, which is coming at 6.67, which is nothing but the percentile of the returns, simulated returns, snapshot of the simulated returns with the specific confidence interval. We use this particular confidence interval. That's the reason we used negative here, because ideally it will be a negative value. So negative and negative, it will express this percentage as a positive value, as absolute value. So again, the simple thing, like the historical simulation, also we use the percentile of the daily price returns, actual price returns, is using historical data. But here you're taking the percentile value of the simulated returns with a particular significance level, which is in this case 1%. That is, confidence level is 99%. So in this case, the Monte Carlo var numbers are 6.67. This is again lower than the parametric var in this case. Usually that's the case, that Monte Carlo var numbers are by far the most kind of aggressive. That means the loss values are the lowest as compared to historical and parametric. And as we mentioned, that the historical simulation var numbers are typically the most conservative. That's the reason the risk managers prefer that historical simulation. So similar to historical simulation var model measures the worst possible returns based on the confidence interval taken into consideration for the Monte Carlo simulation var. And as we mentioned there, that sometimes significance level instead of confidence interval is taken into consideration, for which adequate adjustments needs to be carried out. That's the reason we use a negative in that case in computational var. So var is usually mentioned as a positive value, which is in historical simulation var and parametric var, even though it's a maximum possible loss at a given confidence interval and for a particular horizon. So that was a short discussion on value at risk models. Thanks.